All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily, man. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Josh Christopher because, the Rockets play the Phoenix Suns tonight, and it's probably not going to be pretty whatsoever. I mean, Phoenix is looking like the most well-rounded team in the entire NBA, and I would not be surprised if they made it to the NBA Finals once again and actually maybe win it. It's probably not going to be pretty, but I like to be optimistic. If the Rockets could pull off a win tonight, that would be the best thing to happen. That would be so awesome heading into All-Star break. I think the Rockets actually play like the Clippers tomorrow. I could be mistaken, but I believe this isn't our last game before the keep saying the damn deadline, before the All-Star break. So one thing I saw a couple of games ago, that doesn't make sense. One thing I saw in the last game, and I know my boy Swaggy made a video about this, was Josh Christopher, right? So the Rockets, they go out, they get rid of Daniel Theis, and they get rid of his, most importantly, 4-year contract, which at no point ever, actually, in my opinion, when we had Daniel Theis, at no point do I think it ever made sense. Never really made sense. And then you throw on, it was for 4 more seasons, 3.5 more seasons. It's like, wow. I'm actually really glad we traded away Daniel Theis. But what that meant is, in return, we received Dennis Schroeder, who, as a player, I am a very big fan of Dennis Schroeder. I like the dog in him. I'm rooting for him. He's kind of got that, like, he's not like a villain, but he kind of was painted out to be a villain in Los Angeles. So I'm rooting for him. I was rooting for him, in OKC. I was rooting for him his whole career. I think he's just a really fun, interesting basketball player. Now, when the Rockets first got Schroeder, he won't get bought out. I don't even want to see any buyout talk. If you watch Rafael Stone's interview post-conference, post-deadline presser or whatever it's pronounced, they seem very adamant about having Dennis Schroeder for the rest of the season and possibly even in the long-term future. Like, it sounds crazy because it is. It's absolutely crazy, but there's nothing we can do. Josh Christopher played 10 minutes. 10 minutes. The last 5 games, minutes. 29, 23, 17, 15, and 10. It's like, dude, what? Dennis Schroeder, like, it doesn't make any damn sense. Why do we have Eric Gordon on the freaking roster still? The good news is, here's the good news. It's not even really good news. The good news is, for some weird reason, Eric Gordon is still starting. Eric Gordon has been starting, since the first month of the season ended. I don't even know. I don't know why Eric Gordon was ever starting to begin with. I think they put Eric Gordon in the starting lineup during all the COVID crap that was going on, and teams were struggling to have enough players to even play basketball that night. And dude, we go out, why is Eric Gordon in the starting lineup? We're not trying to get his trade value up anymore. Why is he starting? I didn't even like Eric Gordon in the starting lineup when we were still trying to trade him. It still never made any sense in my brain. But anyways, the good news is, if Eric Gordon is starting, why not have Josh Christopher be the backup shooting guard? I don't know. 10 minutes for Josh Christopher is absolutely despicable. Despicable. The Houston Rockets coaching staff has done a terrible job with the development of all their young players, in my opinion. Alperen Sengun gets no post presence offensively, which is, that doesn't make any sense. Jalen Green never gets the ball. Literally never gets the ball. Usman Garuba's played maybe 10 minutes in the NBA, and now you have Josh Christopher, who is in the doghouse. Josh Christopher is in Souse's doghouse. It makes no sense. So let's look at stats. All right, let's look at stats here. Josh Christopher on the season is averaging 16.4 minutes per game, which I think is a huge surprise. I think for starters, that is a huge surprise. That's also something interesting. I'm not trying to rag on Silas. I'm not trying to rag on the Rockets. I'll get into that in just a second. But Coming into this season, I was anticipating Josh Christopher and Usman Garuba to be in the G League for pretty much the entire season. And then once Eric Gordon got traded, once, Tice got traded, once, if Christian Wood got traded, my thinking was the Rockets were going to do the same thing that they did last year, where when you clear the house, you bring in all the young rookies, you bring in the G League players, and you let them just kind of do their thing. Like exactly what we saw with Kevin Porter Jr., exactly what we saw with KJ Martin Jr. in the last 10 or so games of the season last year. That's what I was thinking was going to happen with Josh Christopher. So the fact he's averaging 16.4 minutes per game this season, I think that's a success. I think that's a major success. I was not anticipating that whatsoever. What's a failure is he can't dip below 16 minutes. You're already playing him 16 minutes. Why? You're supposed to increase his minute count when the trade deadline is over. The Rockets aren't competing. You can have Eric Gordon lead from the sideline. I understand the Rockets wanting Eric Gordon to lead by example. I don't have an issue with that. But why is Eric Gordon playing over 30 minutes a game? Let Eric Gordon sit in around 25 minutes a night. Let him come off of the bench. Let him be the point guard, the backup point guard. Let Josh Christopher play the 3 guard. Schroeder play the 1, Eric Gordon play the 2, Josh Christopher play the 3. What's the issue with that? There is no issue with that. By the time that season ends, I'm really hoping Eric Gordon gets shut down. I would imagine that's what they're going for. I just don't want to get my hopes up, but I would imagine the Rockets, their idea is they're going to play Eric Gordon. Season ends in less than 2 months. Literally less than 2 months from now, the regular season will be over. So my thinking is Eric Gordon probably for the next 4 weeks play starting minutes, starts, whatever the Rockets decide to do, whatever the hell they decide to do about Eric Gordon, he's probably still going to play. And then for, unfortunately, the last 2 to 3 weeks, that's when Eric Gordon gets shut down. It sucks because you want to see more than 2 to 3 weeks of guys like Josh Christopher, Daishen Nix, the list goes on and on, Trevelyan Queen, but that's probably what's going to happen. So all hope is not completely lost, but it just doesn't make any sense to me if you've been running with Christopher all season. This dude's played in 48 games. He's playing in 16 minutes per game. He's shooting 46.2 from the field. He's averaging 7.5 points per game. He's almost averaging a steal per game in 16 minutes. He's shooting 33.3% from downtown. This is a guy who shot like 25% in college last year. So players like Christopher need to be out on the court. If you're going to be playing Josh Christopher 10 minutes a game, put him in the G League. It's as simple as that. I hate saying that because the G League guys don't get really any love. Daishen Nix or Trevelyan Queen just went off yesterday. I think they had like 26 points. I think it was Daishen Nix had like 26 for the Vipers a couple of days ago. Maybe it was Queen, whatever. If Christopher's playing 10 minutes a night, or if you're going to give him even worse DNPs, you need to put the kid in the G League until you figure the hell out your rotation. The Rockets' rotation at no point has made sense this whole season. It has never made sense. I hate ragging on the Rockets coaching staff, but man, they're developing these guys not greatly. And I use Jalen Green as my prime example, where it's like, Jalen Green had, 7 shot attempts in the first half of the game against the Jazz, and then to end he had 2. Like some possessions, you'll literally see Christian Wood get the rebound, run all the way up the court, hold the ball for 10, 15 seconds, and put up a bad shot. That happens several times every game. It's like, what the hell is going on here? So the Rockets have some stuff figured out. Good news is we're tanking. Rockets, they're just not used to tanking. It's been like 1 year of this so far. It's literally been like 1 year. The Rockets had James Harden for quite a bit into last year. So this sucks, man. It sucks, but what are you going to do about it? So play Josh Christopher tonight. I'm begging you. Also, this is important to note. The Jazz beat the Rockets by, 34 points. So a little something called garbage time should be in play here, and Josh Christopher still ends with 10 damn minutes. That is terrible. And I don't want to hear anything, he's in the doghouse because of his performance 5 games ago against, Sacramento, 23 points. It's crazy. Shot 40% from 3. The game after that, shot 50% from 3. Shot 55.6% from the field. The game before that, 53.8% from the field. He's not in Silas's doghouse because of his play. I'll tell you that. Rocket Nation, hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys like daily Rockets content. I need to make sure the Rockets played tonight because I'm like positive they play Phoenix tonight at 8 o'clock. All right. Probably do a recap, but if it's much like last game, you'll probably see it the day after. Like button, some button. Peace.